Hello, this is Lisa Russick and Misty Lore with the podcast We Are All Psychic. It's just us today. Misty, how you doing?
Good, Lisa. I'm doing good. I got a question for you today, though.
What's your question already?
Already, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, do you think we're all psychic?
I do
No?
think we're all psychic. I do.
Okay.
I
I
do.
just wanted to ask you today, see how you felt
Thank
about
you.
it.
I'm not asked very often. I ask
I
myself.
know.
How about you, Misty? Do
Yeah,
you think we're all psychic?
I think so. Oh, wait,
Still?
I know so.
You know, no.
I know no. Yes, that's a yes, a big old yes.
That's a big old yes. So listeners, this is an audio podcast, and Misty is going to introduce the topic with reading an oracle card.
So, I have this beautiful oracle deck called Oracle of Mystical Moments. And the author of this is Katrin Katrin Wellstein, I think that's how you say it.
I don't know either. Yeah.
Anyway, if I said it wrong, I apologize, but it's a beautiful deck. And on the deck, it's got like a big elephant, and he's standing on a like a not a house, but like a mansion type place, and this big balloon is holding all of it up, and they're
Oh, the
going.
card you have? Yeah. Yeah. What's the name of the card?
The name of the card is A Long Way Home. And we were actually discussing what we were going to do the podcast on. And we were talking about how people go off on, different journeys to find themselves, different retreats. We were wondering if we should do that on the podcast. And then I drew this card. And yeah, you couldn't have
Yep.
said it a better way.
Yeah, we didn't know if we should do. We were talking. I was telling her about the traditional vision quests, listeners and
Yes.
listeners, just
Yeah.
listeners. I almost said and washers. Well, you don't want to see us today.
No.
Or she looks beautiful. I've been
No.
sick with the
No, no,
flu.
no, no. It's
So
Sunday.
listeners, and you probably heard of a vision quest or a spirit quest. And today, if you don't know, on Instagram and Facebook, I post a card of the day almost every day. And today, the card of the day was the Eight of Cups. And for me, the Eight of Cups, and for a lot of people, it can be a spirit quest card. And a spirit quest or a vision quest are pretty much the same thing as what Misty just said on that card. And it is what, we're doing in life when we just get lost with our emotions, with what we want, what we need, what we feel like doing. Where are we? We go on a vision quest to find out where we want to go next sometimes, or find out what's wrong, why we're stuck.
Yes, yes. Why are we
And
stuck in our life at this point? Yeah.
I've never been on a real official, like an official vision quest. I
Me
probably have
either.
accidentally been on a vision quest.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely those to talk about as well. But yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't
so
either. I've never been on a actual quest. I would love to go on one.
it would be fun. I'll introduce the topic of it. I had the first time I heard about what a traditional vision quest is like, I was told by friends of mine in Phoenix to go do it.
Yeah.
So they told me, one of my friends, Roxanne, I've talked about her on the podcast before, told me she went to Peru and she saw a shaman and was with a group of people with this shaman, and they drank ayahuasca. And if you don't know, ayahuasca is a strong hallucinogen that I don't know how it's made, but if you drink it, you should you'll trip for 4 days. I think it is like 3 or 4 days you'll trip and hallucinate. And at the end of those 4 days, you'll know yourself or find yourself or feel better or be healthy or whatever you're going for. And the shaman guides the group or the person through the vision quest. And they say when you do this, you're out in the woods. You just have your clothes on your back, usually, and food and water, and you just let it all go. Ayahuasca, from what I know, when people take it, they really trip. I mean, they trip hard.
I bet they
Um,
do.
I have a friend locally in Alabama who actually made her own ayahuasca once. She had a very high anxiety, and she took, I think, Xanax for it or Klonopin or something like that. And she made her own ayahuasca, and she had a spirit
Wow.
quest of her own in her house. And she quit taking all her psych meds afterward. But,
Wow.
about 2 years later, a year or two later, she was back on them again. So her vision quest didn't stick. That's what I was telling Misty. Like a lot
Yeah.
of people, they go on these vision quests, they feel great afterwards. the kinds where you're guided or you take the ayahuasca. But then about a year or two later, it's like they don't feel that same way. I guess all the crap of the world gets rid.
Yes, weighs them down.
Yeah. But you
Yeah.
don't have to take ayahuasca to go on a vision
No,
quest.
you don't. You
Yeah, you
sure
can.
don't. I've heard of people just packing up, never knowing how to hike or anything about hiking, and decide that they're going to go on this, weekly hike just to find themselves. And
Yeah.
they didn't take any drugs at all. I mean, they did it all on their own, and they found their own spiritual awakening and their own true self. And I think that's what it's all about, is finding who you are at this point in your life and what is to come next in your life, and actually value the things that are important to
Be
you.
grateful. It does help you have gratitude because you feel like, I imagine if you trip for 4 days, you probably feel like you're dying,
Yeah,
and you get real
yeah,
grateful when you're dying. You think you're dying,
yeah. Right, right.
So that might be part of how it works, but it's also, if you do it without the ayahuasca, I imagine it's more like a conscious meditation, a constant conscious meditation of wherever you go, whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, whatever you're trying to explore within yourself, you're doing it constantly, no break. But
No,
you can do it like my friend did, just sitting in her house, but she used ayahuasca. Or you could do it like I would, if I were to do a vision quest, I think I would like to go somewhere warm in like a forest by a
I'm
lake.
thinking beachy.
Beachy. Yeah, I like the forest by the lake too, and the beach. Both are
Yeah,
really good. But I'd
yeah.
probably like to just go and just have a cabin. I like the idea of a cabin for some
I do
reason.
too. I like that too.
Yeah, and just like
Cabin
sit
in the woods.
cabin in the woods. Not that kind of cabin.
Yeah, a good cabin.
Yeah, it's not gonna,
No bad trips here.
yeah. Um, that's just like I figured for me it would be a lot of just sitting around looking at. So I feel like I'm always on kind of a fishing quest because I never come
I know,
home.
don't we all?
So the point is you
Yeah,
come home, from the
yeah.
visions and you feel better, yeah, about your life and everything that's happening to you.
So what do you
So
think that is? What do you think that, this drug actually does that for people?
I think it's the near death feeling.
You do?
Only I don't know though because I've never done it. But that's
I
what I would
know, I
guess.
know.
That's just a guess. We should find listeners if you know, send me an email at lisa@weareallpsychic.com and we'll read your response. Um,
Yeah, I would like to know.
Nobody ever sends me emails.
Oh, poor Lisa needs an email,
We
guys.
do need an email, guys, because we have no guests lined up right now.
Oh, we guess and an email or two.
And maybe
You
we
know
could
you
all
have
go
the
on a spirit
computer.
quest.
Yes, we can all go on a spirit quest together on the beach in a cabin.
Oh yes, on the beach. Lots of cabins, lots of beach,
Yes,
lots of water.
lots of cabins, lots of
That
beach.
would be
I have to
fun.
have my space on this retreat.
What is your idea of a an ideal spirit quest? What would you, if you were to go on one today? Like you
Mhm.
said, like you made up your mind and you started packing.
Um,
I
well, it definitely for me. I mean, I like the idea of a shaman with me. I do like that idea.
do too. Yeah.
But for me, I think it would have to be the fact that I would have to go alone,
Yeah.
because I think that's my biggest fear, is being alone. Because
Oh,
I'm constantly in a house full of chaos and you know
you are.
people. I never have my alone time, and I love my alone time. Don't get me wrong, I cherish it, but I don't have it, and sometimes I think maybe because I'm scared of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that I would need to face that first.
You haven't been alone since have you ever lived alone?
No, I've never lived alone. I
Yeah.
would love to. No, I'm not going to say that.
Not without your, yeah, yeah.
Right. I'm not going to say that, but I would have loved to have in my past when I had the opportunity. That would have been great. But now it's not the right opportunity.
Yeah, you can't
I
leave.
do not
Yeah, if
want
you're
to be.
married, you can't really do that, but you
No,
can go on
I
a
don't
spirit
want to be
quest.
divorced, and I don't want to be widowed, and no, I don't want
No,
any
no,
of those
no,
bad negative things. So
no. But you can go on a spirit quest or a vision quest for,
yes,
and what would yours be ideally? What would you be trying to find? The alone, like what it's like to be alone and feeling that fear
yeah,
and then getting rid of it,
getting
or
to know myself more.
yes,
I
yes,
think that's what happens when you're alone, because you have nobody but yourself. You have
yeah,
nobody but your own thoughts, and and your own feelings. And I think that's when everybody starts to really grow, is when they know themselves, don't you?
yeah. And I think something about the ayahuasca or some kind of psychedelics that might help with a vision quest that could help is that the inhibitions go away.
Yeah,
Yeah, and people can
the
see the
ego.
energy and the energy is distorted sometimes, I think, when you're
Yeah.
but I feel like people can access that consciousness that you need to be able to see energy and work with it easily. With the chemicals or with some kind of drug or something, they can get to that
Well,
state.
they're trying to do that now as far as like psych drugs.
Yes, they are. They're
They're
taking
doing
people.
tests and stuff,
They're doing Molly.
PS,
Is it Molly or MDMA or
yeah, yeah.
ecstasy? That's what it is. They're
Yeah,
taking.
ecstasy. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of, soldiers that have PSD, can actually use it in a comforter, in a comforter on the
I would
bed,
love to use it in a
in
comforter.
a comfortable environment. Yes, with a
Yes.
comforter. Doctor.
That's a necessary. Yes, Vision Quest. You must
Always
have
have a
a comforter.
blanket.
I forgot you have the clothes on your back, some food, and a comforter.
Yes, a comforter to
You believe
comfort
my
you.
comforter, Misty? I'm scared,
Yes,
Misty.
I
Comfort
will
me.
be your comforter. I will be your comforter. So Lisa, what would your trip be like
I
if you
think, I like the idea of the woods, the cabin in the woods. But I think what I'd be trying to figure out is where to go from here. Like, I don't know what I'm doing with my.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm just
kind
kind
of
of,
stuck.
yeah, well, I keep getting sick. So I'm kind of stuck for that reason mainly. And I get behind on everything because, I keep getting sick.
Yeah, I know that
And
feeling.
yeah, so I think I would go to try to figure out why I keep getting sick, but I kind of know, but I would try to find like a spiritual way to cope with it and not um crap, I'm sick again. And I get in a bad mood
Of
when
course
I'm
you
sick
do.
and I take it out on people sometimes, I don't like
Yeah,
that.
that's natural.
I feel really intense and dramatic when I'm sick, like with fever, especially. And I had fever this weekend. I had one.
Hmm.
I don't anymore.
Good. That's a
But
good
yeah,
step.
yeah, it's very good. And it makes my emotions, everything's really intense when I have a fever. It's like feels like everything is I'm almost paranoid in a way,
Yeah.
because I can't think straight. And so I
Right.
I go back to old ways of thinking where I feel secure, thinking being suspicious that everybody's out to get me is a comfortable place for me on oddly, you
That's
know.
sad. I'm so
Well,
sorry.
it's not like very comfortable because I got back out of it today,
Yeah. It's
but
still not a good place to be though.
no, it's not. And but it was an old habitual thinking way of being that made me go back to, that I used to be. And when I felt sick when I was younger, I was always that way anyway. So I think that's why I go there when I get sick. And I can't like temper myself because of the fever. I
Right.
can't clarify my thoughts and my thinking and my emotions and all that like I normally could because of the fever. So
Yeah, I can understand that.
a fever is kind of like a vision quest. I
It
mean, I've had fevers
is.
that high. I've had fevers that high.
Yes. And even like you hear it all the time when people are dying, and they're in their dying stages, they are tripping and seeing things,
Yes,
is it
for
real? Is it
days.
not?
Even if they're dying for days,
Right. It's
the
kind of
whole
like the
time.
same thing. They're sick,
Yeah,
I mean, with a fever, obviously you're going to recover, but for people that are dying, they still get that trippy kind of sense
yes,
going on to them.
yes.
It's,
And when I've seen people like close to death, they're dying in a hospital or something. Not often, like a couple times. They don't seem like they're all the way with us anymore.
no, they're not.
They're not only are they often talking, and I've seen and I've heard people talk about this. They're talking to dead relatives and stuff. I
Yes.
mean,
Or
that's
people that aren't
really
there.
yeah, people that aren't there, dead people. And
Yeah.
to me, that's like, oh, they're seeing the spirits. I did have a kind of a near death experience where I saw spirits once and my guides and everything. And then my friend Wendy, she had passed away in 2012 or 11. I can't remember what year. I think it was 2011, 13. She came at the end and I think she saved me from dying, but they were like the other guides and my family and everybody, they were like, hey, happy to see me. And they told me a whole bunch of things that I can't remember. I wish I'd written it down, but I was
Oh
so much thinking I
man.
couldn't. And then Wendy popped out. She just came out of nowhere and started walking towards me. And then I whatever was going on with my stomach, I've never figured out. It had to do with pancreatitis, but something happened and it felt like a big mass of something went through a tube and came out the other side inside my like stomach, like a bile to what are those like bile ducts. It felt like
Yeah.
stone went through it, but I think it was a piece of my pancreas because that's what pancreatitis is. It eats itself, your pancreas,
Yeah.
and it was so painful that I did think I was dying, and I just laid there. And then the guides came. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't move, and then when Wendy came, it passed through whatever that thing was, that piece of pancreas or whatever going through the bile,
Mhm.
whatever happened. Um,
Right.
and then
She
it
cleared
stopped.
it.
And I just all together, I just got better like that.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, it was weird. And
Amazing.
I got out of that. I'm trying to think, like, I felt a lot of gratitude, but at the time, this gets kind of personal, but it, my husband didn't do anything. He just laid there when I was happening to me.
Wow.
And he didn't touch me or look at me. He didn't touch me. He just sat there, didn't say anything, and didn't call a hospital, didn't do
I was
anything.
gonna say you didn't even call 911,
So
or
no, he just laid there. And it was about 10 minutes that I was laying there like
was
that.
he like in shock, or was
No,
he just?
I don't know. I was dying.
Yeah, that's true.
I just
You
know
were
he
really paying
wasn't doing. I just know
attention.
after I came out of it, he didn't do anything, you know. And I just started thinking, like, after that, I mean, I told him what happened because it was so crazy, and he didn't really care, I don't think. But it made me realize this person doesn't really care about me,
Yeah.
or it
I'm
doesn't in the
glad you're
way that I
sad.
need them to. You know, maybe
Yeah.
he wanted me to die. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
but when I came
yeah.
out of that, it gave me like a real determination to get better. So when it happened again the next day, I did go to a hospital. And that passing through, the spirits came again, but not as intensely at the hospital, but they were there when it started passing through, and it passed through when I was at the ER. And they weren't treating me at the ER either. I was just laying in a bed with the nurse when it happened.
Mhm.
And my husband, he was there because I made him take me
Right.
that time. No, I called an ambulance because he wasn't home. I called an ambulance that time and he met me. He pulled up right as the ambulance got there and he got mad because I called an ambulance.
Oh
But
wow.
yeah, but I got to the hospital and it passed in the room and then I just walked out. I was fine. I didn't want to wait anymore. It was like a Saturday night, you know, and
Mhm.
I was fine and they hadn't helped me, assisted me in any way whatsoever. So there was no reason to even be there.
Right, because they're not gonna do
I was
anything because
lying
the
in that
spirits
bed
took
for
care of it.
probably 2 hours after, like for about 30 minutes while it was hurting. And then after it passed, probably about 30 minutes. But it took a while to get to the point where it passed, you know? So I was just in a lot of pain.
I
Like,
bet.
yeah. And,
Yeah, when you're in that kind of pain, you see things too like that.
oh, yeah. Oh, yes. You probably have too, right? And
No,
anesthesia is something I have seen things with, like a hallucinogen anesthesia. The
I
first time
never
I
have.
really, the only time
No.
I really did was when I was having endoscopy when I was 21, I think. And I woke up in the middle of it. They didn't give me
Oh
enough
no.
anesthesia. So I guess
That
they
was my
just rammed a
nightmare.
bunch in. You
No,
know,
girl,
I
that's my
woke up when it was
nightmare.
down my throat, like as soon as
Nope. Nope.
they knocked me
Uh-uh.
out. Yeah.
No, 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 thank you.
It was I just remember I don't hardly remember it, but I do remember it. And then when
That
I
would be
came
a
out of it,
nightmare.
well, I guess this is before I really accepted the psychic side at all. Look, I was only 21 or 22. I think I was 21. And I came out of there just like yelling at everybody, all this stuff. Like I yelled at the nurse before I went under the anesthesia, before the procedure. The nurse said, "My name is so and so, and my daughter's going to be named Lisa, like you, and I'm pregnant." You know, she was a baby, she had
Oh,
pregnant belly, and I was like, "That's great," and so she was really friendly, and she talked, and I told her I was in a band and I sang, and she said, "Well, while we're down there, we'll take a picture of your vocal cords and I'll give it to you."
oh, cool.
But we were getting along great. Anyway, I came out of that and I told her, "You shouldn't have married Mike. You should have married Steve. This bit you're wrong. You're with the wrong man." I don't know who Mike or Steve are. And
Did
then I said, "Your
she?
baby's not going to be a girl. It's going to be a boy. You're going to name him Steven or something." I don't know. I just went on and on and on. And then every time someone came up to me, I was like, blah, 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 about their future and what themselves. I don't know if it was true or not. No one ever told me. They
Oh
just had
my gosh.
these expressions of like, and I didn't get my vocal cord picture.
Dang it. Out of all that, you
That
gave
was
me
kind of a
some good
forced vision
information.
quest.
That was a
That's
good psychic reading right there. And you didn't get a picture of your
a
vocal
horrible
cord.
psychic reading.
I bet it was all accurate though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
I bet you every bit of it was. Not for you, but for them, I bet it was good.
I don't know. It's interesting though. We'll never know, I guess. But um,
I
I
bet
just
she freaked out.
I remember my mom was in the waiting room. I remember her face. She just went like her mouth dropped and she got real like kind of scared.
Yeah,
And
because you were
my mom
right.
was with me, and when I got back to the room, I said to her, "Mom, the walls are melting. It's like I'm tripping on mushrooms."
Your mom loved that.
Yeah, she never brought it up again, but
I
um
don't know why.
yeah, I don't know why. But so in that case, I did have a very I can
That's very
remember what things looked
interesting.
like. Everything was had halos of pink and blue and purple and yellow, like halos around people. Like I guess there were auras and there were like bubbles of colors floating around, and the walls were melting, you
Yeah,
know. So
that's so crazy. That awakened you from that point, didn't it?
oh, I had been sick all my life. I wasn't awakened. I'm not
Not
awakened. I don't
there.
feel like I'm not,
So I'm
I
talking about with your
the psychic
abilities. I
stuff.
think
No,
it
I'd already
awakened you
had
more,
the
did it?
psychic stuff going on.
You did.
And
It just amplified it.
yeah, I was surprised by it, but it made me really curious to explore more. Like, how did I do that? And it felt, I remember the feeling like I knew these things, but I wasn't me. It was like I was a messenger, you know?
Yeah, that's a good way to put
Hard way to
it.
explain it. Yeah.
No, like you were the messenger. You were trying to tell
Yeah.
the people what was going
But
on
it
around
wasn't me
them.
though, because I was not myself because I was under all these, all
Right.
the anesthesia. So it felt like I was just saying I couldn't filter. I wasn't, it was like
Yeah, you
something
weren't
talking
filtering at
through
all.
me. It was more like something was talking through me, but it was still me doing it. I had no choice. They were just talking through me, you know,
Like a
or
medium kind of.
it was, yeah, like channeling kind of,
Yeah.
but I was there and aware. Usually,
Right.
from what I understand of people who channel, they're not always aware of what they're doing. Some might be and some might not be, I think is how, but most people don't know because the spirit takes over,
Right.
you know. I
I mean,
remember,
I would think that they wouldn't be aware, but I've never had it happen. I've never done it. Never known anybody to do it. So I don't know.
yeah. I think that we had a guest,
Yeah.
Corby.
Yeah,
Was
we did.
Corby, I think it was, or was that who it was? Who
I
she
think
said she,
so.
yeah, she said she just sit back and get her ego out of the way, and then
Right. Ego
spirit.
had to leave.
I don't want to let a spirit.
I don't either.
But
I'd be afraid they'd stay.
yeah, I know, right? Look, this is comfortable. They won't stay in my body. They'll be like, "Ow!"
No, they would be like, get the
Like,
fuck away from this woman over here.
"Ow."
I don't want her either. Maybe I'll use her to get to somebody else.
Yeah, we don't need use these two to get to someone healthy. Yeah.
I'm just a user, body abuser.
Body abuser.
No, that would be my fear. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could actually get to that point where I could totally give out away all of the ego and let
I think that's why it
spirit
happened
do
like
things
that
over.
with the anesthesia because I
I
was,
think so too. That's what we're getting at. Yeah.
yeah, and I think
That
maybe that's the
you had
point
no
of drugs.
control.
Yeah, I think that may be the point of drugs in a spirit quest or a vision quest to get that ego out of the way or get the decisions we think about our decisions usually, and
Right.
if on like when I had that anesthesia at the hospital, um I didn't think about anything I was saying. It was just blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
And I think that it did totally take away any inhibitions, and that's what ego's about, kind of your
It
inhibitions
is.
and your fears and your hopes and you, you in general. And
See, and that makes so much sense because, when I've been put under before, when I've had surgeries, I have a fear that I'm going to say something like that I'm not supposed to say or hurt somebody's feelings or get out of line. I have that like huge fear. So when I do go under, I think that my brain is still trying to control what's going on around me. Unlike when it happened with you, you were just like, oh, free fall. But
I had
me,
no choice. Ooh,
right, right. But I try to control so much
you
that I
do.
can't let it go in order for it to control me.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
that
yeah.
makes any sense.
I don't think I could in my normal state. That's the only
No.
time something like that has happened that I know
But I
of.
can't even do it in that state, is what I'm saying. So you were lucky enough to open
Well, I
yourself
think they
up.
gave me a ton of anesthesia when I woke up in this procedure. I think he gave me too much. Isn't that
Oh, because you had to have a second round of it.
yeah, I think he put
Yeah,
too
you're
much
right.
in.
Yeah, you had a
Yeah.
lot of it.
Because that never happened any other time I've been under.
Oh, well, that
Yeah.
makes sense. That makes a lot
Yeah.
more sense.
That's why I talked about waking up in the middle, because that's why I think
Yeah, that's why they had to do that. Okay, I'm
yeah.
with you now. I'm with you. Well, yeah, listeners, we don't recommend this.
No, no anesthesia. No.
No. And don't go out and do some crazy hallucinogenic drugs. We're talking about doing it with the shaman, doing it the right way, certainly not the wrong way.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing it the way my friend indicator did.
No, do not make
He,
your own.
he's a
No,
mad scientist, I guess.
yeah, don't do that. That's bad.
No, don't make your own. That's not good. That's probably illegal.
Yeah, it's called illegal and it's not good.
No.
I wonder where you would have to go to search to do on one of these retreats. I guess you could look online.
Well, my friends had in Phoenix had told me to go to the one that Roxanne went to in Peru, and it was $2,000 that at that time, which was 2005, I think.
Wow.
And the whole trip with the flight included and everything was $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
And they all thought I should go because they all thought I was crazy and bad because they were bad friends at the
Yeah, sounds
time.
like it.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't a great person. I mean, I was kind of just
Yeah,
in
but you're
a
still a
very
person.
negative mindset. I was very sick too. And they all wanted to help me, but they wanted to by taking away things from me and putting other things in me. They told me to stop taking my medication.
Oh no, you can't
It,
do that to somebody,
well,
especially when
they
you
did
don't
this
know.
for 4 years, so I stopped taking my medication, and 2
Oh
months
no,
a psychotic
that's not
break again.
good.
A psychotic break, yeah. So I just, I listened to them, and then I knew they were. So then they told me to go see the shaman. I was like, no,
I'm
no,
not listening to you anymore.
yeah. I just didn't trust anything they had to
I
say.
don't blame you.
Advised me to do didn't work, you know.
No.
And they didn't know anything about. And that's when I realized, they really don't know what I experienced whatsoever, and nobody does. As far as the sickness and the psychic stuff at the
Yeah,
same
that's so
time,
sad.
you
Yeah,
know. Well, I got out of there.
you did, girl.
The desert down in Phoenix in that valley. That just being outside for 10 minutes will put you in a spirit quest.
Rabbit.
120 minutes.
Dehydrate. Ah.
Yeah, you start, spirit starts going, and you fall down, go boom.
I really do think that the spirit levels are higher in different places like that, don't you?
Maybe.
I think that there are different like planes that
Yes,
have higher energy levels than other
I
planes.
agree. There are ley lines that some people talk about that go across,
Yeah.
and like Sedona. When I was in Arizona, Sedona was north of Phoenix. Some of you listeners may have heard of Sedona. It's a metaphysical community in Arizona. It has these big red mountains. It's got all red. And I think the first time it's supposed to amplify his vortexes. And we've talked about vortexes with some guests
Mhm.
before. A
Yes.
vortex is like an extremely powerful energy center, and the ones in Sedona are supposed to bring out whatever feeling you're having and amplify it. But the whole time I was in Phoenix, I was miserable. So every time I went to Sedona, I was miserable. And I
Just
would
keep
blame it on the
winning.
rocks, but it could have been the energy of the vortexes, bringing out my sadness, bringing out my anxiety, all
Yes.
the things I need to deal with.
Yes, it could have been.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that you would want to go to a high energy place if you did decide to do something like that. I would.
I think it'd be good if you're pretty stable. But if you're
You'd have to
going
be,
for
yeah.
a emotional issue that you're taking medication for or anything, I don't think it would fix it. And maybe it
No.
could for a little
You need
while.
a professional though,
But
for
like you had
sure.
said before the podcast listeners, I told her about the shaman in Peru trip and how people like a year later don't feel as like it's all gone, the energy and the good attitude and stuff, a little while later it's all gone. And Misty said, well, maybe you should do it once a year then, do something.
Yeah, what's what I'm
Maybe
thinking.
it's what is it that coming back from that, what takes it away, what takes finding yourself feeling away the
I
rest
think
of the world, I guess.
it's a constant want, I think. We
And we
constantly
also
want that feeling. And
and
I
like
think in society it just takes it from us. It drains us from us.
they don't some people don't want you to have happiness,
No,
because they want
you gotta
happiness.
fight
You have
for
it, they
it.
get mad at you for it.
Yeah, you've got to fight for happiness for
Yeah.
sure. I totally believe that. You've got to have the right frame of mind and you got to be strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm thinking that if you do a retreat, do it once a year then. If that's what it takes,
I
then
think
that's
that'd
what
be
I would
cool once a year, like
find yourself.
vision quest. I think it'd be fun to do. Yeah. But not with ayahuasca. Now, if I was younger, if I were 26 and I had different friends who would all go with me to
Right,
the shaman,
right,
and,
right.
help me, that'd be different. But, it was not a fix all.
No,
I
nothing
think
is a
this
fix
also goes back
all.
to our habits of how we've been all our life and why when I'm sick now with a fever, especially, I will go back to those old patterns of thinking, like, what's the point of life? Why am I here? What am I doing any of this for?
Right.
And or what do I want to do? I don't want to do anything. There's something wrong with me. Yes, you're sick. You have a
Yeah.
fever.
And it's constant
I go
repeat
back in that
too.
circle, and then I'll have
Yeah.
to snap myself off somewhere and be like, you're doing that old habit again. So I
But you're
think,
stopping yourself. So that's the good thing is you
yeah,
can
it takes
recognize
a
it and
while.
you can stop it.
Well, usually I act out a little bit and then I recognize it.
All right, get it all out, girl. Act out, get it all out, and then blame it on that. That's how
Yeah.
we do. We're women. We can do that, right?
Yes, we can. We can do whatever we want. We're women.
All right. That's right. We tower
We tower.
like the card at the
Yeah, like the
beginning.
card. So, Misty, do you have any advice to the listeners if they
Yeah,
were?
well, I definitely, like I said earlier, I would definitely research this before you decide to do it. And I definitely would not say to do it, with just any kind of psychedelic drug. That is not what we're saying at all. Do
It's
not
just a
do that.
traditional
We
way.
are not saying that at all. We're just saying do it in a professional way. Have, a shaman or something to guide you through it. Otherwise, you could have a really bad trip.
Or someone who's been on a
You could
spirit quest.
die.
Or someone who's been on a spirit quest and then you're
Yeah.
not taking anything. You just go out in the woods, or
Yeah.
go to the beach or
Just
go
don't get away.
always in nature where they do this. Like the
Yes.
shaman in Peru did it on the top of a mountain.
Yeah. And do that. And also I would highly suggest don't bring any negative people with you. I don't care if it's a marriage and you two are, constantly at each other and you're trying to fix it. It's not going to fix.
You're
Don't bring
right.
any negativity into the spiritual journey with you. You need to do it by yourself.
I agree with that.
No negative. They need to figure out their own stuff and you need to figure out yours. It's
Right.
not going to do it trying to figure it out together if you can't figure out your own individuality,
Good point.
or
Or if they have a
yeah.
problem with your individuality.
Right. I mean, that could be a really bad trip. Could you imagine? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
you did this to me and da 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 da.
Yeah, just be marriage counseling.
Yeah, that would be horrible. So don't think that's a good idea because it's not. Do it by yourself. Do it with a good friend that loves you,
Yeah.
and can take care of you. And maybe one day me and Lisa will do it, and we can tell you all about it.
Yes. Yes. If we do have a journey, a spirit quest or a vision quest, you'll be the first to hear about
Yeah, well,
it.
we would do it live, but I don't think I would do that.
I don't want to find myself in front of a bunch of people.
No, I am not going to go that
where
way.
I am.
No. Nothing I would do would make any sense to anybody anyway. So, but me and Lisa.
It would to me.
Yeah, that'll be it.
So, listeners, thank you as always for listening. Misty, thank you again for doing a podcast with me last minute. And we want to say happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate.
And be thankful.
And be thankful, great gratitude. And I want to thank sponsor Everclear. Everclear is an advice app and a website, everclear.com, where you can get advice from psychics and empaths. So you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve.
You deserve it.
You deserve it.
You do.
And lastly, I'll thank myself. Just kidding.
Please. I want to thank Lisa for all the hard work that she puts into this podcast and to all the time that she puts into this podcast, guys, because she puts in a lot of hard work and time into it. And she loves the listeners. She loves everybody. And I just want to say thank you, Lisa.
Oh, I'm gonna cry, Misty. Gosh.
I know.
Thank you.
All out.
Oh my gosh.
All the shaman talks got me going.
Oh my goodness, Mal. Well, thank you, Misty. And thank you, Everclear. Thank you, listeners. And I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I don't know if we'll have a podcast before Thanksgiving. If we do, surprise. If not, have a great one if you celebrate. And thank you as always. Goodbye. Peace out.
Bye.